So I watched the Dave Chappelle special yesterday afternoon with my husband, and it really impacted me simply because Dave did a really great job like conceptualizing the way that Floyd probably felt when he was dying. And that was something that I kind of felt anyway, which is why I really couldn't watch any of the videos that were like being shared around social media. But after Dave spoke about it, it really like got me thinking again about what it feels like the moment that you know you're gonna die. Like, there's absolutely no way that anyone can help you. All the people around you, like, you are in a state where you pretty much recognize that there's no way out. Nothing is gonna like just spontaneously happen and change, you know, my fate. Like, it really got me thinking, like, this is actually very profound. Like, especially when you look at the sort of idea of someone being murdered by the cops, who are oftentimes not so much now, like definitely not now, but a few years ago, being a cop was looked at the same way as being like a firefighter or something of that caliber, where you're like a public servant and you are given this job because there's something about you that makes you responsible and intelligent and cool, calm, and, you know, collected, and you have a certain amount of skills and the grit that makes you a police officer. And I used to talk about this a lot with my ex-best friend, who is a retired cop. And it's this idea that a lot of times when we watch action movies, when they show cops, or like the main character is a cop, he's like a retired military guy, retired special ops, like something like that. And we see him, obviously, because he's the main character, he's framed as the hero. And this pretty much informs us in real life and causes a lot of people to believe that cops are these people that have a certain level of expertise that the average guy doesn't, which is why they're obviously a cop, right? And that's how we, for a long time, viewed cops. Like, you became a cop because you're like the real life version of, a superhero. Like, the way we see superheroes kind of identify a problem and they realize, okay, I have these abilities, let me help people because I have something that other people don't. I can stand between victims and criminals, right? When a lot of times cops, and this is just not from my opinion, or should I say the opinion that I have developed from watching years of cops mishandle the citizens they're supposed to be protecting. But as I stated, my ex-best friend of 8 years was a cop. I have cops in my family. I know cops. I'm very much connected to cops in interpersonal relationships, so I have heard their experiences and just talking to them and listening to them share. So with that being said, I just want to say, a lot of times cops are not these people. They're not these retired military. They're not these benevolent, altruistic superheroes at heart. They're just regular guys, oftentimes who know somebody that knows somebody. They were able to pass a physical test and answer certain questions correctly, and they are literally given the license to kill. But once again, these guys are not these heroic, noble, mature, like extremely emotionally developed people. Like, they're oftentimes just as capable as you and I are when it comes to handling conflicts. And so I just really want to say to anyone, and this might sound weird, but unless it's absolutely necessary, please stop calling the cops on people, especially if you're calling the cops that will invite them into a situation where there are two people of color, in particular black people, having a conflict. Because what that automatically does is raise the level from, okay, we might go home from all of this, like all of us, we might go home, to, okay, someone might die today. Simply because you added a cop to the situation. And I just encourage you guys to kind of reevaluate, if you haven't already, reevaluate the way that you look at cops and your idea of the kind of personality of what you think a cop is. Because I'm telling you, they're not any more capable or any more smarter or any more strategic than you and I. It's a job that you can go and get training. Now, are there some cops that do have, you know, a certain type of that do meet a certain type of personality traits that are, which is why they were geared to that, you know, career path? Sure. But unfortunately, and you could just look at the world around you, obviously that's not the majority.